Good morning. It's Monday, November 19th. Our top story today is about a downturn on lobster prices in the Chinese market that's being experienced by New Zealand. But this also raises the bigger question for us about how to get a window into China. We've recently begun a partnership with something called the Chinese Aquatic Channel, which is the leading seafood news organization in China. And through them, we've begun to get a handle on what's happening in a range of different fisheries in China. For example, on channel catfish, the export market has been extremely poor, obviously, as prices and production has tumbled in the U.S. And that's led them to turn to the internal domestic market, but there the primary market form is live catfish rather than processed. And so they're having to make an adjustment. Prices are not expected to really recover very much for the export side, but they're hopeful that the cold weather will spur some more buying of live catfish in certain cities. Another area to look at is tilapia. Total Chinese production of tilapia this year is probably going to be about 145 million tons, of which only 35 million tons is exported. However, prices have been down. Even though market share in the U.S. has increased, most of the Chinese tilapia processors have really been experiencing profitability problems. And this is going to hamper their ability to increase exports in the future if they can't get better financing and better profitability. Now let's go back to lobster. The thing that struck me about New Zealand's lobster price, and this is a very well-established market in China. China is by far the largest buyer of New Zealand lobster. The product has been well known in the market for years. So when we see a 25% drop in prices from last year to this year, it makes us sit up and take notice. There is a slowdown going on in the Chinese economy, and where it's having an impact is that it is reducing demand for imports of certain high-value items, and it's also causing some disruptions, let's say, in the price of some of the major domestically produced species. In some cases, these are supply-driven issues. In other cases, it's economically driven, but the fact remains that China is not just a one-size-fits-all answer to every seafood producer elsewhere in the world. It doesn't work that way. In Lexington, Mass., this is John Sackton.